even the store people.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
They all know I sit up here.
Go.
Listen, they all know my music always
Right.
goes this way. Why? Because I'm thinking right here.
Uh-huh.
And then if I want to turn on my music,
Right.
I speak to my customer. I just turn it off. Look.
Uh-huh.
If I put it this way,
Right.
how am I going to turn it off?
I didn't say no. I said this way.
How am I going to turn it off?
Turn it that way. Turn it facing that way. No, turn it facing that way. Yeah, I wouldn't want to turn it facing that way because you knew I was fucking right. Y'all don't understand. Y'all don't understand what it took to get right here. Right here, right now, in this very spot, on this very street, on this very sidewalk. Y'all don't understand. I've been fighting. I feel like I've been fighting all day. I feel like I've been, whenever I've been losing, I get hit with another one. It's gonna be like Jake Paul fighting Mike Tyson. There's gonna be some moments where you're like, he getting him a little bit because he's a little athletic, he young, and then Mike Tyson's gonna swing hard on him and get him with one that really hurts, and you say, oh, never mind, that's still Mike Tyson. It's still life. And I've been fighting it since I got off. I got off about 12:30 p.m. in the afternoon. I can say in the afternoon when it's close to noon because p.m. just sounds like nighttime, like the sun is down. And the sun wasn't down. It's still not down. It's a beautiful day out here. I got out at 12:30 afternoon from the day job, hence at daytime, and I said I haven't been able to do a pod for whatever reason, and we'll talk about those reasons, X, Y, or Z. I haven't been able to do a pod in what's probably like 6 weeks. Probably about 6 weeks, realistically. Whenever the Super Bowl was to now, that's the last time we did a pod. That was the last podcast. So I've been so determined. Y'all don't even know. So determined to get a pod done. So I said, no matter what, I'm going to get a pod done. Rain, hail, snow, or fire. I'm going to get a podcast done today. So I came on to Hollywood Boulevard. Probably going to have to pay like $40 for parking. Hauled this all here, and I was so happy to get here. And as soon as I'm done setting up, looks good, background's dope, I don't have the adapter to connect the microphone to my phone because we simplified the setup to go back to the New Year's Eve setup. An adapter I wouldn't need if Apple didn't start the stupid trend of not putting 3.5 millimeter jacks in phones and just putting the charger in there. So Samsung said, monkey see, monkey do, I'ma do it too. And now I need a cable to listen to music or to connect a microphone physically. And then I need another cable if I want to charge and do that at the same time. We're going backwards, people. We're going backwards. And how is technology and our availability within it to go backwards, but prices is going up? I don't know all the techies gonna mention probably the Asus phone, the Zen phone, and phones that have 3.5 millimeter jack. Don't nobody want them phones. Not even the gamers they meant for don't want them phones. They ain't gonna stop making them phones in about 5-7 years. They gonna be LG. I don't want that phone. I want a premium phone that I don't gotta compromise with. Is that too much to ask? I don't know. We're gonna find out. I'm gonna start looking into OnePlus. OnePlus hit my line. So then I had to find a way to get the adapter. And I looked in the bag it was supposed to be in, about 10 minutes. It wasn't there. I put everything out. It's not there. It's just not there. So I had to buy a new one. So I could have, and I already had these seats set up. Already had them set up. So I could have broken them down because these don't collapse. You know when you get something from Amazon and you could have swore it said something else. But when you get it, it's not that it's not what it said, but it's not what you needed it to say. You know what I'm saying? So this said foldable, and I need collapsible. And I know what you're thinking, Michael, those sound like the same thing to me. Exactly, those sound like the same thing to me. So I get a foldable chair when I guess I should have got a collapsible chair. All of that to say I got all of these set up. This took about 5 to 10 minutes. Should have taken 30 seconds. It took 5 to 10 minutes. So I get these set up, and now I'm emotionally attached to this area right here. I'm emotionally attached to this plan to podcast today. I did all of this work for nothing, figuring out I need an adapter. So I had two options, right? Break down the chairs that I just did and essentially waste the effort, or utilize modern technology. And I said, well, let me just get it delivered, because the Target over here and the Walgreens over here do not have the cable. How we all got phones? How we all got phones? Excuse you. Say we all got phones that need the same cable, the same adapter. None of us can listen to music without it if we ain't got our Bluetooths, and you know those be dying. Or for my filmmakers out there, we need this cable to connect microphones to. So you're telling me, I would bet probably not 90% of the world needs this cable, and I can't get it on the strip here in Hollywood? We're moving backwards. So I had to get it delivered. I went to Instacart, got it delivered. Well, okay, so I went to Instacart, and then I'm thinking, you know what? Now that I'm thinking about it, I should also get a charging cable. That way, no restrictions on today's podcast, right? Genius. I'm under stress. So when it actually gets here, shout out to my man Marlon from Instacart, all right? I appreciate you saving the day. I put in the adaptive cable. Happy. I'm ecstatic. I'm elated because I can finally use the microphones, because there's always a lot going on Hollywood Boulevard, the Walk of Fame, where the stars is at. You got to be prepared for the noise-canceling microphone. Shout out to Larkin Ones. But in order to use it, I need this adapter, so I put the adapter in. Super happy. It works. It looks great. As y'all can see, it looks amazing. However, what's up, my man?
I spoke to my friend. He said he was coming today. So if you want to set up on this side, that'll be perfect for me, because I can work and you can work too.
Oh, man, I hear you, brother. Here's the thing. All of this is set up. I mean, all of it.
I'm just letting you know.
And I already set up the frame, so like, yeah, I hear you, and I appreciate the offer, my man. But you know what I'm gonna do? I'm a counter offer. Did you know that your man he's not coming today?
Yeah,
you know that?
I called him.
You called him. He said he's not coming today. Damn, baby, there you go. You can move your stuff and take his spot.
This thing was not letting me work.
Oh, the fire extinct, the fire. Oh, okay. Oh, so you wanted me to try to figure out how to use that?
No, it's not a problem for you, because you can have it inside your up, but my stuff, it's a lot of stuff right there. So
There's a bunch of wind and stuff going around, man. So I would have to take an additional 15 minutes to try to figure out how to extinguish that, and to say, all right, my man, hey, I appreciate you working with you, okay? Y'all see what I'm talking about? Fighting for my life. I've been fighting for my life. I'll tell you about that situation in a second, but I want to finish this story. I want to stay on track, like Tommy the Little Engine That Could, and like the Little Engine That Could, this podcast would too. Okay, so I get the adapter. I put it in the phone. Super happy because it looks great. It sounds delicious. It's like ASMR for life, narrated by me. I plug the charging cable into the power bank that I have for exact moments like this. Go to plug in the phone side into the phone to only be blocked by the same adapter that I had to put in for the audio cable. I know what you're thinking, Michael. What were you thinking? Problem is I was thinking about getting this podcast done, and in the moment, I didn't compute 1-to-1. So now I had to choose sound or power. Obviously, as y'all can see, we chose sound. That's the obvious choice, right? So we wanted to do this podcast with no restrictions, but as you can see, my phone is at a good maybe 37% right now. So we're going to do this until it dies. And we're going to have a good time until it dies. Now, as y'all can see, that was round 1 and 2. I get set up. I start doing my thug dizzle. And my man with what looks to be like records, he comes up to me. He says, hey, Oh, yo, hermano, this is where I usually work. Like this, this is my spot. I said, okay. He said, well, so I'm here to work. So like, can you, I said, so I'll be done by an hour, 2 hours, my man, then you solid. So, oh no, that's not how it works, man. Like, you see that tall guy right there, huh? And it's a fake Michael Jordan who be up here, down here on the Walk of Fame, tricking all the Asian dudes and women, all the Asian people, think, oh, it's Michael Jordan. It's not. That's Michael can't afford him. That's what it is. And he's like, he's like, y'all see what I'm dealing with? Y'all see what I'm dealing with? Look at this. I hope this noise cancellation works. If not, y'all understand. This is what I've been fighting. Y'all see me? So we're on the boulevard. Wait for my drum guy to come back. He's not gonna have it. He's not gonna have it. So anyways, we're on the boulevard. We're on the Hollywood Boulevard, right? So my man's is wildin'. You see what I'm saying? So anyways, we're gonna still try to get this pod done, even if we gotta use both. Actually, what I'm gonna do is I'm probably gonna turn this off. Watch this. This is how we do this. Bam. So now all you can hear is my mic right now. We're gonna put that right there. Ooh, utility. So that I feel like this is round 9 to 12. So this is what I'm working with. On top of that, y'all, there's been wind. I done had to prop up everything. I done had to, my sign where it tells people about me, I done had to put it in the cracks of this light pole. The sign that tells people what this show is up here, that you can't see it, it's out of frame. I had to prop up two ways. I had to use the pack I used that y'all saw in the BTS, and if you didn't see it and you're not following the Instagram, PODDINGINPUBLIC, also known as Potting in Public. Instagram, we put it up there first so people can see just what it takes to get here to this moment right now, right? So I had to prop this sign up. As you can see, beautiful sign. We usually have it up here, but I feel like the glare is crazy on it, which is nuts because I got the matte to try to take that away, but maybe the matte wasn't. But then it's gloss, so it's gloss or matte. We got two options here, right? So I chose matte. So, Dio Thug Dizzle. So anyways, we had to prop this sign up. We had to prop this sign up two ways. As you can see, we got the water bottle right here on the right side. And as our unofficial drink of the pod, I got Not Your Father's Alpine Splash. It's keeping me refreshed. It's keeping me in the right state of mind and vibe, and making sure this sign doesn't fall. So shout out to the unofficial drink of the pod, Not Your Father's. It is the official drink also of everybody who is not going to P. Diddy parties because they don't want to be Meek Mill. What a segue. Let's talk about it. P. Diddy, Meek Mill, Bad Boy. It all makes sense, but it's still shocking. You know what I mean? Like, nobody in the community is like, yo, huh? Him? Yeah, I'm not a big fan of him right now. He knows it. He doing that on purpose. Yeah. He only do that to the black people. He's not doing that to the other guys. All this space on the street, he gonna act like this the only part of the street. Two sides of the street, there's multiple lights. I ain't gonna say nothing, no. He ain't gonna hear from me. Okay? He think he hurting the pod. But in reality, now I got some background music. And my man got the drums going. This might be the best pod yet. See, some people take a penny and throw it away. Some people take those pennies that everybody dropping and they save them until they find the treasure of $1 million. Now, some people go out there wait 1,000,000 days at 1 penny a day to get to $1 million. But me, God just drops it into my pocket, into my hand to use like in a moment like this. So anyway, shout out to Not Your Fathers for getting me into this mood. Not Your Fathers, the official drink of people who don't go to Diddy parties. Mykhal, where were you? Well, I would ask what were you doing there, but big if, allegedly, if that audio is you, my man, that running meme of Mykhal running around the corner like this, it just seems a little different now. It seems like he was excited to get out of jail to go to Diddy house. That's what it seemed. It seemed like he was running. It seems like he was running like this. It seemed like he was running to Diddy house. That's why he was so happy. He was like, oh, let me get it again. Oh my gosh, going back to Daddy house. You know what I'm saying? Like that's even coming out of my mouth right. That's crazy to say, as Cam and Killer would say. Cam and Murder. My bad. Listen, shout out to Not Your Fathers for putting me in the right state of mind. P. Diddy's been wilding. I knew it was over for P. Diddy. When people was online, on internet, on Twitter, on internet, I'm gonna start saying that, on internet, where I think he was over when people was on internet blatantly sharing all of the videos of people, other people saying that he been on some weird shit.
Man, I'm out here. I don't want to go right shit on this.
Yeah, I feel you, brother. Wait, say peaceful, baby. What's your name?
My name is Antonio.
Antonio?
Yeah, Antonio Lamar.
Antonio Lamar, man. Good to see you, brother. I'm going to see you over here again.
YouTube, I Wish by Antonio Lamar. I Wish by Antonio Lamar.
I Wish by Antonio Lamar. We got YouTube. He said YouTube. He didn't say SoundCloud. So I don't know. You can search it on there too, but not entirely sure. That's what you call Rough Riders. Rough Riders. Yes. So while we cha. So Puff Daddy, P. Diddy, Combs, Sean. What's been going on, man? And it makes sense, it makes complete sense why his label's called Bad Boy. Because that's all he was trying to be, is somebody's bad boy, or make somebody a bad boy while he overutilizes the term daddy. It's kind of like watching Quiet on Set. When all the pieces, all the dots, all the points start connecting in a bad way, it starts ruining it. You know what I'm saying? It starts ruining it. You're like, damn, man, this isn't what I thought it was. This isn't what I thought it was. And I enjoyed what it was. But now that I know the truth, and how diabolical, how horrific, how criminal it was, I'll never look at it the same. And just like before, we're segueing, baby, into Nickelodeon. Dan Snyder, what were you on? That's a lie. I'm not going to ask that rhetorical bad question. I know what you were on. Bullied in high school, maybe even middle school. But a lot of people deal with that. Bullied in college, at the university. That probably hurt. Always an outsider, never in. So you had to force your way in. Massages. What is this? 1980? Oh, wait. It was. So that means he's not the last person. And Cat Williams was right. There's a lot of exposure going to happen this year. 2024. 2024 life is what it should be called, okay? Because a lot of y'all are going away for life, or you should. But y'all should go to for life. But you know what? I don't know who the powers that are be, but I know that they be in Nickelodeon because all of the vast pedophiles, criminals that they didn't have, none of them is in jail. One of them raped, mutilated, molested, abused. Drake Bell. I always wonder what happened to Drake. How did Drake Bell, he was the pinnacle of tween stars, you know what I'm saying? The white dudes I hated at school, they tried to be like Drake. They tried to be like Drake Bell, and I'm not talking about Drake the Canadian Drake, unless Drake Bell's Canadian, which I don't think it is. I think he's homegrown, old-fashioned American. They wanted to be like him. The hair, the douchebaggery, all of it. And when Drake and Josh ended, I have felt like I thought that he would be the next big thing, like the Taylor Lautner, and then maybe even more than that. Because he was the guy. And now seeing this documentary, understanding the horrors he had went through, not just when he was on the Amanda Show, when he was on Drake and Josh too. And for his mom to just let this happen. Just let it. I'm not gonna say let it happen, but to not notice it, like, no, fuck it, let it happen. Because the dad said, whatever you do, don't let him buy Brian Peck. He told him to do name. He probably showed him a photo. He probably gave him all the footage that he had of him caressing his shoulder and all that. He probably gave all the evidence to her, all the stuff she needed, and out of spite for the dad, she still didn't listen. And look at the horror. And it's only probably got, like, I know she don't go on the internet. I know she don't, because it's probably curtains for her. It's probably wraps. If she was on social media in any form, whether it be Facebook, whether it be MySpace, whether it be SoundCloud, whether it be Reverb Nation, Instagram, Twitter, X, Black Space, I don't know if she was on anything, but if she was, I know she's not on it no more. Those accounts are suspended because what was she doing? It took Drake's girlfriend's mom. Real mom instincts. Not Spidey instincts, but better. Motherfucker was tingling. She said, bro, what's up? Save that young man. Save that young man. Save that young man. Shout out to the mom. Shout out to the girlfriend's mom. Save that young man. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of revelations quiet on set. I felt like even in the documentary, and I felt like only the little agua fria, you know, I feel like my lips getting a little chapped, and we gotta stay strapped, you know. And so I felt like even in the documentary, the former black artists, cast members, were still being cautious. And I'm not dogging them for it. I'm not coming at them for it because I understand. I get it. Like, you're already going to get some flack for being, like, hopefully not. Hopefully the world has changed, but it's Hollywood, and Hollywood isn't the world. So they're probably going to get some type of, if they weren't already not getting castings, which is It might be why they did the documentary. They feel like, yo, Slide, I did all this work, but maybe they have. Again, I'm not saying that. Even in the documentary and the interviews, they still seem to be holding something back. And that speaks to the power of Nickelodeon. And I'm just not talking about their jokes or SpongeBob jokes. And that might be where the power comes from, because they definitely got some hits, man. Not just Dan Snyder hits. Rugrats. Hey Arnold. Rocket Power. Cat Dog. Rocco's Modern Life. I said Cat Dog. I'm thinking of Cow and Chicken. They had some hits, which is probably why Dan Snyder was able to slither his way in there, because they were like, we had this golden era where we want another golden era. They were like the Warriors now. They were trying to extend their dynasty. Unlike the Warriors now, they did some freaky. It's my belief that you meet somebody, you see somebody, and you instantly know. You got an inclination. I know they say don't judge a book by its cover, but sometimes that cover be accurate. You know what I'm saying? So I felt like someone in that interview process, unless they some freaks too, some creepers too, they knew that Dan Snyder, they knew he was a little off, but they said he got hits. Kind of like R. Kelly. You telling me nobody in the music business knew this was going on? They did, but he had hits. So they chose to themselves the lesser of two evils as sacrifice to the people who had nothing to do with them. Again, I'm not saying this right. I'm just giving context. Call me the context king. Call me CK, and I'm not talking Calvin Klein. So I felt like somebody knew Dan Snyder was a little weirdo, but he was pumping out hits. He was pumping out hits, and when you pump out those hits, so I want y'all to see this. My man has he got the speaker facing me. I knew it was some op shit. I knew it. I knew he was on some such shit. But I never looked. You know, sometimes you want to believe the world is better. Sometimes you want to believe the world is better than it is. But then you got my nigga, he got the speaker. He gonna turn me. He gonna have me go switch back into it for real quick. He gonna turn the speaker towards. You know how crazy that is? I don't think y'all understand. I've been here for about an hour, 2 hours or so. Right, about an hour, 2 hours. Setting up, hour, 2 hours. I've been here, hour, 2 hours. He gonna pull up. Like he owned the sidewalk in front of my man Edgar Kennedy. Or maybe that's a woman. I don't know. I really don't know who Edgar Kennedy is. If you know, let me know. Hit me up in the comments. Let me know who Edgar Kennedy is. But right in front of the Edgar Kennedy star, might not even be a star, might be a real moon. Edgar Kennedy fans, don't kill me, okay? Again, I don't know who Edgar Kennedy is. But my man pulled up. And got the speaker going right in front. You know what I'm saying? So we might not get nobody to sit down because my man decided to be Steve Aoki for the Hispanic community. Just know I'm probably gonna come back out here. Here's what he don't understand is I don't race cars, but I'm still petty. You know what I'm saying? So I'm probably gonna pull up when he said he'd be at this very spot. That was his mistake. Is he told me, he said, bro, I'll be here. I'll be at this spot for real. Hey, yo, my mans. You got to turn that facing that way. You gonna have to turn. Now you want to talk to me? I was talking to you over here. What? You was who? You was nice to me by telling me to move out the spot? What you talk? Oh, you turned it up too, huh? What'd you say? Yes, you did. You got the speaker facing me. You know what? That's why you ain't never gonna prosper, bro. You ain't never gonna prosper. You ain't never gonna prosper. You could have faced that way. You can have it as loud as you want. You can have it as loud as you want. But you can face it that way. You acting like a real hoe right now. Yeah, they do all the time. All the time. So you over here on the sidewalk. On the sidewalk. Hollywood Boulevard is, you could have been over there. Ain't nobody over there. I've been here for 2 hours. I've been here for 2 hours. You've been here for 2 hours. You gonna set this up.
I've been here for over 8 years, bro.
8 years.
And you just want to come here and set up? That's crazy.
That's crazy, but it is what it is. I got here before you. Do the early bird get the worm or not? So now the late worm is he all mad, he all sad. You wanna act like a child. That's what you acting like right now. You acting like a niño. You acting like a real niño right now. I can call you anything else, but I feel like that's appropriate. You acting like a real niño. Like a real bozo too. So as long as, listen, this was supposed to be a podcast. This might just be a roast session the whole time. Cause he playing his music at the max, but he don't understand that
Everyone, even the store people,
yeah.
They all know I sit up here.
Cool.
Listen, they all know my music always
Right.
goes this way. Why? Because I'm thinking right here.
Uh-huh.
And then if I want to turn on my music,
Right.
I speak to my customer, I just turn it off. Look.
Uh-huh.
If I put it this way,
Right.
how am I going to turn it off?
I didn't say no, I said this way.
How am I going to turn it off?
Turn it that way. Turn it facing that way. No, turn it facing that way. Yeah, I wouldn't want to turn it facing that way because you knew I was fucking right. You knew I was right. How does it feel to be wrong all the time? How does it feel to be wrong? 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 So that's how you get people out of here? That's how you been here 8 years? You try to bully people out of here with music? You try to bully people out of here? I know I'm not the first person to set up right here. Yes, I am. How hard was that? Oh my God. Y'all see what I'm dealing with? And I'm going to turn around in like 15 minutes and it's going to be turned the other way. But here's what people got to understand. When it's facing me, you're not going to win. Ask my tail club on Twitter, okay? If you're wrong, I'm going to make sure you understand that you're wrong. To the mechanic that worked on the Oldsmobile the first time, if you're wrong, you're going to understand that you're wrong. This is not how the world works, people. My man is a fan of P. Diddy. He's a fan of forcing his way into places that you don't have no business. And we're no Diddy over here. No Diddy Association. We're NDA. That's off the top. No, we're fine. Let me make sure I still got battery left so I got all of this. All right, we're 30 minutes in. I don't know how much battery we have. No, we got so many more topics to go over. So now that we had a peace treaty. You can go halfway.
I can't.
Yes, you can. All right, man. Well, I'ma still keep on going. And while you're painting, man, don't be surprised if I am a stand-up comedian. Let's talk. Before I go any further, let me introduce y'all. Let me give y'all a proper salutation. Welcome to Podding in Public. Welcome to the first live, in this case, pre-recorded, live to somebody, because it's your first time seeing it, pop-up podcast interactive experience. A social experiment and a way to sharpen my skills. My name is Mykhal Polite, your host, a stand-up comedian, an actor, an artist, a creator, who's utilizing this platform, this niche, this arena, this podcast, this very thing, to sharpen my stand-up comedy skills in the way of improv, because none of this is scripted. It can't be, or else I'd be failing. Because I'd have to go off script. So why go off script when there's no script to go off of? And now we're just going off of ourselves and the people and the environment that is working with us. So we're sharpening these skills for what I want to be. A live podcast stand-up comedy special. First of its kind. But we got to get there. And in order to get there, we have to do things like this. We have to have the podcast in public and have people potentially not sit down because they don't want to be in a bachata line. Or maybe this is mariachi. Or maybe it's neither. But some type of Hispanic dance line. For my Hispanic peoples, let me know what it is so I don't look foolish next time, okay? And I can add that to the roast bucket. That's rotisserie chicken. I know it looks like I'm fishing, but it wasn't. Welcome to my podcast. We're literally in public. El Capitan right there. Angry Painter right here. Fire hydrant right there. You know what I'm saying? Like, we are on the streets. Technically we're on the sidewalk, okay? We're technically the weekend right now, okay? So shout out to the sidewalks, keeping me off the streets or whatever he was talking about in sidewalk. Shout out to Kendrick for saving that song. And Kendrick, we'll get to you a little later. Pause are applicable. No Diddy. We were talking about Puff Daddy earlier. So if you're just tuning in or you skip to this part, we're no longer talking to Puff. We're no longer talking about Diddy. I hope he gets his recompense. SAT word of the day, recompense. Just like I hope this artist gets his recompense. That's my fatal flaw spiritually. And I'm working with God. Well, okay, I got that. That's not my only one, but that's one of my main ones. Is not wishing upon others the harm that they do to me or worse. But again, like we talked about, I don't drive in circles and only take left turns, but I'm still petty. You know what I'm saying? So I'm working on it. God, forgive me. Sometimes you just gotta stop and vibe. Sometimes you just gotta do with the environment what it gives you. I'm not gonna lie. I wanted to have good vibes only. And that messed up my vibes a little bit. But thanks to Not Your Father's, the unofficial drink of potting in public, one swig and the tomfoolery goes away. One swig and you're back in bliss. One swig and the BS is no more. So, we're back. And let's talk about country music. Let's talk about Beyonce. Let's talk about her new album, Cowboy Carter and the Chitlin Circuit. On first listen, I wasn't a fan, but that might have been due to the heavy country intro, which might be, I don't know, I haven't looked into seeing if it's two separate sides of a CD, but the first part, I feel like, is all country, and I feel like that's deliberate. Understand that, I feel like that's deliberate, because of where the inspiration for the album comes from. It came from her prejudiced, racist. It came from her experience where she was president. Hold on, I gotta find it. Where she was discriminated against. Golly, that took me with word generation delays and physical delays and lags. Brought to you by the unofficial. So, okay. The first part, I think I was turned off from because it was a country album in the beginning. And then we get to Yaya, and that's where it flips. And again, even amongst talking about it right now, I fully understand. I fully understand. That was intentional. Flipping, going through all of this country, getting the country people lured in, and then boom, switching the genre, and now it's more country, it's more, I would say, pop, R&B, hip-hop infused country, or maybe the other way around, country infused hip-hop, That one, country infused hip hop, R&B, and pop. And from there, it's nonstop. It's nonstop hits. Meek Mill's song probably comes in the second half, called Tyrant. Track number 25. I'll leave it at that. I'll leave it at that. So from my listening experience, I didn't feel like it flowed. Again, because I'm not a country lover. When I love to R&B, central rap, I like to call it. Depending on what tempo I'm trying to go that night and that round, will depend on how, if we're going 112 or if we're going maybe Bryson Tiller, Rambo. It depends on the tempo. It depends on, how I'm feeling, what the pregame was like, like how many shots did I get up, how was I feeling during warm-ups, what was there an event before the event? Was there a game before? We don't know. So, but since I'm not a country lover, see how I spun that back, circle back to it like a NASCAR, but I'm petty, y'all? You're not tapped in, but you will be in a second. When you're giving the album to someone who's not a country lover, and again, it's not for us. The album's not for us. And it's definitely not for me. I wouldn't even say I'm a Beyonce fan, but I'm a fan of Beyonce because she is Black royalty. She is royalty, period, but Black royalty for sure. And I think every Black person who's not doing some foolishness deserves support, and they'll always get mine. Oh, those are fire. You guys can't see it, but I think those are Dragon Ball Nikes. Wow, well played. So, listening to Beyonce's new album, the reason why I didn't like it on the first listen is it because it wasn't my cup of tea in the beginning. But again, once you get to the back end, fire. So I would rearrange it in a way for her common listener, the non-country Black folk. I don't want to say just Black folks because for, again, Beyonce and those who are tapped in, country music is inherently Black. We created it. That's us. That's us. Unfortunately, one of the many things that was stolen from us, like rock and roll, shout out to Elvis, you know what I'm saying? They talk about some of the greatest robbers ever. When you talk about Bonnie and Clyde, Elvis is up there. We want to talk about a heist, Elvis is up there. So it's just one of those many things that's been taken from us, and we've been able to adapt our sound and adapt our heart and adapt our ears and adapt what our souls and spirits react to be more hip-hop and pop and rap forward. But that's not to say that people don't like country. I got country songs in my repertoire, even before the Beyonce album. And then some of these songs as well, will be added. But for those who are like me, what I would like to believe at least the 55% of Black people, meaning most, alter a separate offer, maybe a later offering. And because that's unrealistic, I'm going to create that. I did it with Flow State, Kyle Smile Again. So if you haven't listened to Kyle Smile Again once a way through, I only do it with albums that I feel have no skips in them. So Kyle Smile Again by itself has no skips. I just wanted to create a flow to it more to my flavor of listening flavor. And because of that, I created Flow. It's called Flow State. It's on Apple Music. It's not on Spotify because then I'd have to pay for that too. And I don't want to. I believe Apple Music has the better UI, the better user interface. So I use Apple Music instead, even though I do have a Samsung. A lot of people are like, that's an Android. It's a Samsung. Okay, clear difference. Clear difference. All right. I use Apple Music, and it's on there, Flow State. So I'm going to create a Flow State playlist with Beyonce. And I'll put it up on my Twitter. That's usually where I put it. I don't put it on my Instagram. I'll put it on my Twitter. Maybe I'll put it on Instagram. I don't know. We'll see how I feel in the moment. Again, got to check the tempo. Got to see what the pregame is like. Got to see, you know what I mean? Got to see if we're feeling like slow jams or fast grooves. And I'll let y'all know. I think we're like 45 minutes in. Now that we're a couple minutes in, you know, I'm gonna start interacting with people and maybe I want to sit down. So while we do that, I do have another topic I want to talk about. Okay, it was P. Diddy, it was Beyonce. You know what's crazy? I wrote them down, I typed them out, I printed them, and left them in the car. So I don't know the topics offhand. So I'm just gonna spitball. I'm just gonna freeball here. New podcast. Shout out to LeBron and JJ Redick. A lot of people don't know this. Some do. I often told myself as one of the greatest defenders that has ever played the game of basketball. And by what I would like to believe, causation and correlation, one of the smartest basketball players to play the game, humbly. So having an insight into the NBA level terminology, psyche, is something that I personally appreciate because I appreciate the technique of the game, the mental technique, and the physical technique of the game. Because I wasn't always the most athletic. Actually, probably never the most athletic person on the field. Never. So if I was the fastest, if I was the most agile, I was also the shortest. If I was the tallest, then I was not the strongest. If I was the tallest, the fastest, the most agile, then I wasn't the youngest. So because I was never the outright physical best on the court ever. But I do believe that I had the mental and physical IQ, maybe not the physical ability, but I was able to fill the gap. Always. Even now. Like I said, like my offense, because I haven't played in a long time, I'm trying to play today though. Because my offense hasn't always been consistent. I've always gave myself a fighting chance in any lineup, but I believe the starting lineup, because I wasn't terrible on offense. I was just a catch and shooter, but I was awesome on defense. I mean, I could guard, bro. I was 5'1". I could guard 1 through 5 freshman year of basketball. And I know you're like, oh, I'm not that good, but like think 5'1". Our center's 5'10", right? So I'm guarding 9 inches above my height at that time. I tried to make sure it didn't sound as crazy as possible. Because there's no disassociation all podcast long, all episode long. Sometimes I lose my train of thought from the combination of Not Your Father's, the unofficial sports drink of the pod, of episode session 5, and this complete happenstance, also guerrilla warfare onslaught of this quinceañera happening to my right. So if I lose my train of thought, man, work with me, all right? I know I look perfect, but I promise you I make mistakes too, all right? Because sometimes my body want to dance, so let me try to catch it. Um, Podcast. I've been working that. I've been working my train of thought, making sure I never lose the topic, making sure I never lose the through line. I appreciate LeBron and JJ Redick's podcast, and I found it hilarious that on day one, a lot of people on Twitter was like they had a hard time following it. They were in shambles. I did not. I think the hardest thing to follow was obviously the names. But once you figure out that some coaches or some things that they know just have different names as the level progresses, it because a lot of high school coaches, which is where I played, I didn't play at the college level. I didn't want to condition, which is ironic given what I do now. When I'm not doing pods or stand-up or acting, shout out to it being a Swiss Army knife, Swiss Army sword, I like to call it, because we're not a knife, we're not a jack of all trades, we're a master of all of them, a guru of the guru. I'll finish that. The guru of I would say everything, but I feel like there's a better verb for that. I'm a fitness instructor. Again, humbly, I like to be one of the greatest fitness instructors of all time. Conditioning coach, fundamental boxing coach now. Shout out to my man Pat. And even then, technique. This train of thought thing is tough right now. But it's gonna help me. It's gonna help me on the stage. It's gonna help me in life, and it's gonna help me in conversations that I want to end. But I gotta keep going. Technique is everything. I didn't find. We were talking about me not finding it hard to believe. Okay. I enjoyed the podcast. That's what was up. He might win this battle today. I'm not gonna lie to you. He might win this battle, okay? Because my brain is not. It's not cohesive right now. And he's in the zone, and his art is great. His art is great. The problem is the personality sucks. And from now on, thanks to R. Kelly, Dan Snyder, and Brian Peck, that weird production assistant. I knew he was weird. I knew he was sus. I knew he was going to be one of the bad guys of the documentary when he was happy to be a production assistant. You can't trust anybody who's happy to be a production assistant. Because every production assistant who's happy to be a production assistant is doing something crazy when they're off the clock. I was never a production assistant because I knew I was going to hate it. So I did everything else. That actually might have been just as bad. But it wasn't a production assistant. I felt like I still wasn't. I felt like I still was. I could work hard because I wasn't almost there. And I think there's an illusion if you're a production assistant that you're almost there, and in reality you're not almost there unless you're doing something creepy or unless you're throwing some. Unless you're throwing some tail, you're shaking some tail feather. Word to. And what's crazy is I could if I made a Meek Mill joke, it would be okay. If I make the same joke and it's Drake Bell, I would get the internet wouldn't fuck with me. So that's why we're gonna say both. Listen, if you're a production assistant and you're happy out here, you're either three things, okay? You're either doing some weird pedophilic serial killer, you know what I mean? Like creepy. You're doing some creepy shit, or you're checking some tail feather, like Drake or Meek Mill. Okay. The difference between this was involuntary. This one seems like might have been voluntary. If you're part of the Drake Bell situation, please speak out. I know it's terrifying. I know it's scary. Speak out for me, okay? I'm supporting you. Jokes aside, I'm supporting you. You know, rape isn't funny. Molestation isn't funny. It is a beautiful day. I was surprised because I was supposed to pod in Tempe. Me and Cassie went to Phoenix, and everything didn't go as planned, much like today. And ended up leaving LA later because we drove. Ended up getting there later, 3 o'clock in the morning on Saturday. I was supposed to get there around 9 on Friday, do a podcast in Tempe, Mill Avenue. And then I wanted to, to make up for the fact that we didn't do it in Tempe because we got there at 3 a.m. on Saturday. I wanted to do one in Scottsdale on Saturday. Because I didn't do the one on Friday, do the one on Saturday. And we went to the Ren Fair. Time just keep getting pushed back. So we ended up getting to the Ren Fair late, away from the Ren Fair late because we went when they closed, and that's traffic. And got home late. Had another engagement. My older brother, shout out to Daryl, played some ball in the Suns arena, and was crushing it, man. He was just coming off some injuries, man, and he wasn't back into the physical swing of things. But he was using that IQ we talked about earlier. Another smart player, able to utilize what his body is giving him in that moment to still fill the gap. You know what I'm saying? Fill the gap to make sure he can still keep up and doesn't look like a liability. I think that's the problem with today's game in multiple levels. People aren't afraid if their offense is good to be a liability, or even if their defense is good to be a liability. Like, you can't be a liability. Don't be a liability. I feel like that's a motto for life. Don't be a liability. You're driving, don't be a liability. You turn left and you think you can make it and you can't make it. You're a liability. You turn right and think, oh, I can make it, or you expect the person behind you to slow down and they can or they don't. That's a liability. You're a liability. Sure, the insurance might not say it's your fault because they don't really believe in context. They believe in not paying for stuff. And when they do ask for context, if you're not a lawyer, they're not trying to hear you. So guess what? You now became a liability to that person, even though you get off scot-free and they fix your car. Emotionally, you're a liability, and that might not mean anything to you, and that's the problem. Or you're a liability, you're an audible liability, because you can pay. You've been here 8 years and you've been bullying people, and you expected me to get up because that's what you do. But we're still going to find a way to win. Even if y'all can't hear me, like, these are noise cancellations, so I really do hope you can hear me. And because of the new simplified setup, which we're going to talk about right now, I can't hear myself. So I don't know what this sounds like right now. We'll find a way. Maybe we'll find a way to change that. But for now, this works because we can get out here. We can get it done no matter what. But part of the issue of why we weren't getting pods done for the past 6 weeks is I overcomplicated the setup. New Year's Eve went nearly perfect. But because it didn't record, I started to overthink the solution and started to incorporate OBS, and which if I had OBS, I needed some type of a computer, a laptop preferably because it would be powerful enough but mobile enough. And if I had a laptop, I need some type of table. And if I had a laptop and some type of table, then I would need something to connect to it as a camera. So I tried, first episode on Hollywood actually, I tried to do my 4K Panasonic HX, I think it's a HVX 1860. Don't quote me on that. But it's a 4K camera. I tried to use that as a webcam, and through OBS, utilize that webcam feed as the feed for the podcast. Not only did the camera die, but OBS couldn't live stream it. It tried to live stream and record at the same time and was choppy. Whether it was choppy because OBS needed a better operating system and RAM and processor and maybe a dedicated GPU, graphic processing unit, And it didn't have any of that because I have an old school Lenovo WorkPad WD-90, I believe, that I paid $100 and maybe $20 off of eBay for. It don't got none of that. So maybe OBS was lagging because of that, or maybe it was just lagging because the battery. Maybe it was a software thing, maybe it was a hardware thing is what I'm trying to say. Maybe the software of OBS was too far ahead of the Windows 10 that I had, or maybe it was the hardware not being able to meet the requirements for OBS period or that version of OBS. Maybe what I thought, maybe it was both. So I ended up doing another podcast, one on Venice, is done with vMix, and it's done with just the webcam. Didn't even try with the 4K camera. So every podcast we kind of got better, but the core problem never got fixed. So the quality wasn't great, and again, I'm using a laptop from what's probably 2004, ends up dying. So the first time on Hollywood, I only had audio. On Venice, I had audio and I had some choppy video where the video actually got corrupted and I had to spend $50 to get it saved. During the Super Bowl, I fixed all of those issues except for the fact of the battery, because who was thinking of the battery with 9 other things going? I should have thought of the battery. Because of the battery issue, it died on the strip. That was the last straw. I bought a power bank, which we talked about earlier in this episode. And I bought these chairs. Every time I buy something, that's money that I'll get back in taxes eventually, maybe next year. But that's money I can't use right now. And with the cost of everything, sometimes I just can't afford to sacrifice that for whatever at that time. But we've been being more financially literate, and we were able to do it at this particular time. So we get the power bank. From that point on, we're set up, we're ready to go. Every single time we had everything set up, something would go wrong. I wouldn't have an adapter. I wouldn't have a cable. I wouldn't have a charger. It wouldn't be popping. There wouldn't be stuff going on, whether it's opposition, whether it's affirmation, whether it's cooperation, whether it's people wanting to sit down or not. There just wouldn't be a lot bustling. I wouldn't be prepared topic-wise, vibe-wise, mentally. And then at that same time, usually, and after it, I would also be having a car issue. So I would either need to fix something, or a lot of things would be happening at that time where I was kind of just fighting for my life. But finally, I feel like besides against what is now, hopefully, if somebody's dying, if somebody, hopefully that person's okay. But I'm fighting with the sirens every so often, and then I'm fighting with DJ Picasso over here. So I feel I'm still fighting for my life in some aspect. I'm not fighting in my life. We're barring it up low key. Because of that, I'm able to sit here peacefully and do this podcast, get it done, no matter the quality, no matter the circumstances, no matter the obstacles, no matter if people sit down or not. We're here, and we're happy. We're here, and can't thank God enough. I cannot thank God enough. I'm gonna see how much battery I have left. My man's with this scooter. He's been wilding all day. I was like, where's his parents? And I realized his parents is working probably. Probably got a booth or something going on. We're gonna check how much battery we have. And we might just vibe, tell some jokes. tell some exclusive jokes that we're going to be telling in later open mics today. And we might get out of here for real. It's been a roller coaster of emotions, from setup to potting to doing my best to stay unstressed and blessed. Can never go on left. Unfortunately, sometimes we have to get petty. And sometimes we gotta turn the opposite of right. But we sailed the ship back on track. And now we can use the wonderful backdrop, this beautiful sun, this unsolicited DJing experience, unrequested, forced, like the effects of drinking champagne at a Diddy party. We still had a good time. But unlike the victims of Gotham City's, I would say, second greatest villain, because he was operating on levels not even the Joker could keep from Batman. Okay, Batman is surprised to hear the news, because he's surprised that the powers that be were able to operate, Diddy included, despite my man. I appreciate you. You know what I'm saying? We've been fighting it for a little bit. But that's alright. Somebody knows what's going on, you know, despite all that, God's always gonna bring angels into your life. But it's also interruptions like that. That's my man. Unlike going to a day party with a bunch of black billionaires, I like walking into a party and seeing Tyler Perry, Puff Daddy Combs in. We get to enjoy this. We get to enjoy this weather, this time, this vibe, almost uninterrupted. And we get to get some shit off. You know what I'm saying? We get to get some shit off. And this, despite me fighting for my life, despite me, hi, how y'all doing? Hello. Yeah, we're just out here potting, doing a little podcast. Live.
How much are you charging to sit down? That's the question.
None. I don't charge anything. It's free. I don't ask for anything.
All right.
You're gonna come sit down? Oh, that's awesome. Let me get this out your way so you can get comfortable. That's for you. Yeah, get comfortable. Get comfortable.
All right,
Unless
what do
she
you
needs
want
that to say.
No.
How you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you?
These are noise canceling, just to let you know.
Okay.
So everybody can hear you. What's your name?
My name's Maria.
Maria, tell me about yourself. What's your story first?
Well, I'm here today with a foreign exchange student that I'm hosting from Brazil.
Really?
He's in high school. He's a senior
Really?
in high school. Yes, he's here
Welcome.
till June. His name is Rafael.
Rafael?
Yes.
Awesome. I think they speak Portuguese in Brazil, right?
Yes.
Do you know how to say hello?
I don't know how to say anything.
Okay, I only know how to speak
I know how to
Spanish.
say clean your room in English. And he does.
You know what I say?
He knows how to, yeah, he can speak fluently.
Oh, Rafael, you speak fluent English? What? Oh! What's up, my man? How you doing?
You want to sit and talk to him?
Doing great. Okay, that was a plot twist I didn't expect.
Yeah.
Well, that's what's up. Okay, so tell me about bringing in Rafael and
So
being a
a
host
girlfriend
family.
of mine has been a host with a group called ACES, and they play students nationwide. There's 3 options for the students. One is they came for the full school year. The second is they come for part of the year, so they come in January. And then the third is, or I guess it's not a third option, but some students either pay regular price, or some students, like we know one orphan who came on a grant.
Really?
So it's different ways. Rafael, his picture popped up on social media. My girlfriend had told me she had done this for 6 years straight. And when I saw his picture on social media, I read his bio, and it said he only had 6 days to find a host family, or else he would not be able to come to the U.S.
That's usually a lot.
So-
Is that usually a lot? 6 days?
No, because he's been looking for a host family since about August.
Oh, wow.
And I was looking at his picture on December 26th.
Oh,
So
okay.
he only had 6 days, and if he didn't find a host family in 6 days, he would not be able to come to the U.S.
Wow.
He'll be 18 in November, so they can't come if they're 18 as a high school student.
That's awesome.
So it tugged at my heart, and then I was scrolling through his pictures, and there was a picture of him looking down, playing the guitar. His hair is pulled back, had sunglasses on, and it just tugged my heart, and I said, he needs to come and be with me.
Yeah. That means it's meant to be.
It's meant to be.
It means it's meant to be.
Yep. Yeah.
Oh, my goodness. Okay, so what got you into that organization? What got you into hosting?
So a friend of mine has been hosting for 6 years, and she has never had her own children, so this is a way of her experiencing it, which I don't know who would want to do, like teenagers, because it's the toughest thing. Luckily, I'm a 4-time mom, so I was like, okay, I can handle it. And boys are a lot easier than girls. So
Oh, okay.
I love my
how's that?
daughter, but I'm glad I only have one.
So you said boys are easier than girls.
Boys are easier than
Tell
girls.
me more. Oh, I'm obviously a guy, so I love to hear it. Tell me
So
more.
girls just, I think with girls, they have to find their way. With boys, they just have to love you, and they know they can make a cute face and they can win you over. With girls, they feel like it's a competition. Luckily, my daughter went through that phase for just a very brief period of time. So,
Oh, okay.
but that's it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
manageable. You've obviously survived.
I survived.
a
We
few
all
competitions.
survived. We all survived.
Yes.
So yes.
So
yes.
what got you guys? Is this you guys' first time on the trip with Rafael?
Yeah,
or-
so Rafael, he's a musician, and his dream was, one of them was to come to Hollywood. He wanted to see the stars. He wanted to do the Walk of Fame. He actually did not know that we were coming today. I told him we were going to go help somebody move. And
Really?
we had to be up at 5 in the morning, and then last night I couldn't take it, and I told him, and he's super excited. So that's why we're here.
Wow, you do this.
I did it.
You do this. Oh, it's
All
turning
right.
about.
Thanks for letting me chat with you. We're going to keep
Of
walking.
course, you guys
Good
keep watching.
afternoon.
Thanks for stopping. Seriously, Maria, you're amazing. See you later. Rafael! Nice to meet you, my man. Give me a little handshake. Have a wonderful time, man. Have safe travels back to Brazil, but enjoy. I'm glad you got to come. You do? Awesome. Follow me if you have some time, man.
What's your Instagram?
It's my first name, so MY. No, take your time. Potting in public. We're on Instagram. Thank you. I appreciate that. Here, I can put it in for you. Yeah, that's me.
Okay.
That's me, man. Oh, awesome.
Thank you, man.
Rafael, nice to meet you, my man. Have a wonderful. Oh, you guys are awesome. You'll see me follow back, because why not? I want to see how your time here and in Brazil progresses, man. So,
Follow something. I'd ask you to follow the 10 for Alec challenge.
Okay.
That's my nephew who was killed by a drunk driver.
oh, that's my phone right there. So,
Okay. I'll connect it. I'll connect it.
please do. You can do it too. Of course, you guys are amazing. Have a wonderful day.
Have a wonderful day.
Yes, sir. You too. I mean, We're gonna turn this off again so we can try to minimize the bleed. I'm gonna check how much battery we have. You might not even be getting this right now, but if we still have some more battery, we might stay until it dies. So let's see. Ah, it died. All right, I'm back from doing the do, and conveniently at the car, or inconveniently, or coincidence or not. You never know. Okay, so there was still battery when we stopped the podcast. So that's good news. We got the entire thing. Shout out to Maria. Shout out to Rafael for coming through and being on the podcast. Shout out to DJ Picasso, who was right next door. Because I have to go back up there and get my ticket validated, so I don't spend $20 today and it'd be like, I don't even know how long I've been in. I don't even know how long I've been here, to be honest. But it'll be less than $20. And if I can save a buck, I'm gonna save a buck. No Doc Rivers, He's not saving the bucks. He's not doing anything. I mean, I don't know what he thought he could do. Okay, anyways, that's beside the point. So we're gonna go up there. Oh, we just stepped in somebody's pee. Just stepped in somebody's pee. It was mine. So that's okay. Psych. Maybe not. We'll never know. Because we have to go back up there and get our ticket validated, I'm probably going to take a picture, a video of this Hitler of the moment, of this P. Diddy of the moment, of this absolute terrorist of the moment, okay? Because, it's like you have the car right in front of you. So anyways, thanks for tuning in to Potting in Public. This has been session number 5, and what a session it has been. I am on my way now because it is, God knows what time, because I can't watch it. I can't look at the time at the same time. So, what a time it has been. Thank you for tuning in to Potting in Public. This was session 5 here at Hollywood Boulevard, right in front of Hard Rock Cafe, across the street from El Capitan. Right next door to DJ Picasso. Feels good to get here. Stay tuned for more. Peace.